Tanner Godfrey is my nephew, and as an amateur athlete, he was right on the verge of turning pro.
Tanner was always the best one out of all of us. Every race we've gone to, Tanner just dominated.
Tanner growing up and riding motorcycles, the thing that I noticed quickly about him is the other kids would get distracted real easy. They were off chasing girls or doing whatever, and Tanner was the one that was definitely the most focused, and he wanted it. He was driven.
I just loved racing. I loved being out there. I loved the competition. I ended up taking the overall amateurs for Utah, and then I was going to move up to the expert class the next year.
He was doing great, and he had the #1 in Utah. Just graduated from high school, and they were going down to race over Thanksgiving. I was never worried about Tanner. He was in great shape.
We were down at Mesquite for the Thanksgiving race. We're doing the practice Thursday, and my dad was going, and someone crashed in front of him going up this hill, and he hit him, and he flipped over the bars and compressed fractured T6, 7, and 8, which is right behind your sternum. My mom was there, and my sister had a soccer tournament down in San Diego, and so they left right after he went to the hospital. The next day was a race, and we just, like any other day, get ready and go out there, and the same spot on the course where my dad crashed the day before. Ended up going over the bars about 50 miles an hour and just landed on my head.
I was there the day that happened. It was really hard.
I remember when I first found out that Tanner had wrecked. I came home and I had a missed call from my mom, and I thought that was kind of weird, so I called her back, and she had told me that Tanner had wrecked and he's on life flight.
I got the call, and it was Scott, and he said, "Where should we take Tanner, to Las Vegas or to the U?" And I'm like, "Why?" And he's like, "Well, he's broke his back."
When I crashed, I just laid there and it felt like a truck had hit me in the chest. They came down with a stretcher and threw me on it and took me up to the ambulance. And once I got in the ambulance, I could still feel everything. Everything was tingly, like when your foot falls asleep or something, you get pins and needles. It was kind of like that. And I got thrown on a final stretcher to fly up here to the U of U hospital, and everything was numb from the sternum down.
He had a lot of people that came and saw him.
I don't think there was one day I didn't visit him in the hospital. He might not have known it. He might have been asleep, but I visited him every day.
The people started coming, and we had tons of visitors. We had family and friends and people from just all over. I had visitors from when I woke up till I went to bed, pretty much.
It was hard taking care of him as if he was a 2-year-old again. It's hard for an 8-year-old boy to have his mom take care of him again. I knew this would be devastating, but I knew that we would find the good.
Life-altering circumstances are a part of everything.
Mm-hmm.
You could be driving down the road and get in a car accident, and life is chance, and life is not a spectator sport. That's kind of how our industry looks at this, because it's definitely pro all the time, where kids are getting paralyzed or hurt or some kind of accident, and you just have to deal with that. That's a fact of life.
The doctors are there. I needed them for the surgery, obviously, but their opinion I didn't really care about. They said that I'd live a good life in a wheelchair, and I just said, to hell with you guys, I'll be fine. I'll walk again.
Tanner's out there riding a motorcycle when he probably shouldn't be. It's okay if he'd ride you know, just normal, but you guys don't do things normal.
Tanner's story is different because he's still in the middle of his journey, but he's doing what he loves, and he's not letting his injury stop him. He's not a 100% success story, and that's the way life is. Like, you're not going to always have 100% success in everything, but he's not letting that injury stop him from doing what he loves. And so his story is so great because he's fighting so hard against the impossible and still doing what he loves. And to me, that's one of the most inspiring parts of the story, is because, you know, there's a giant wall in front of him, and that wall's going to take a long time to cut down, but he's not letting it stop his